Thank you, Susan. One more round of applause for Susan, please. Our next speaker is joining us from ISC2. Tara Wisniewski is the Executive Vice President for Advocacy, Global Markets, and Member Engagement at ISC2, and she is responsible for leading the Driving the Course of ISC's Global Advocacy Program, charting the future course for the Center for Cyber Safety and Education, and advancing member engagement and global market strategies, and leading the association's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Initiative. Please welcome me in joining Tara Wisniewski.
Thank you, Randy. All right, and this is just great. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? That was, come on, a little bit. Give me something. Hey, I've got the UK Cybersecurity Council here. We got to make sure we show off to them. So, what a pleasure to be here with you and to talk a little bit about some of the things that we're working on at ISC2. We are a global membership association. We are 35 years in the business of credentialing cybersecurity professionals. We are very well known as a credentialing organization. Our most famous credential is the CISSP, and we have a suite of 9 credentials that are known globally, and we're very excited to share that we have 365,000 members, associates, and candidates who are on this journey with us. So the theme, I don't have a lot of slides today, and I only have 15 minutes, so I'll get to a couple slides, but bear with me on the green. I kind of like it from here. But the theme of resetting expectations for this conference is totally appropriate for ISC2. We, as an organization, as I've already mentioned, have done really good work on credentialing. 10 years ago, we started to report on a workforce gap, and now we have an annual study that most of you know in some form. 2 years ago, we actually set a challenge to ourselves to be transformational. And we made the decision to really step into the ecosystem and be a leading voice for the profession and for the professionals that we serve. And that has actually transpired in a number of different activities. So for us, when we think about the work that we do, so of course, you know, our credentials, really, really important. But 2 years ago, we decided, what else should we be doing? And one of the first things we decided that we should be doing is, instead of just talking about the workforce gap, what are we doing about the workforce gap? And so we, as an organization, are doing a number of engagement activities that really provide a 360 view of workforce development. And one of, I think, the most important things that we have really landed on is that we need absolutely innovative ways to develop the workforce, because the traditional solutions are not solving the problem. We are not moving the needle. And it's not that we have the ideal answer, but we as an ecosystem have the answer, and we need to be bold and brave enough to try new things, to actually do something to bring more people into the workforce, but also keep those people. And that includes a number of different things. That includes, what are we doing to build the pipeline? What are we doing about standards? How do we better build a bridge with industry so that hiring managers are well-versed in what security teams actually mean? And then most important for this group is, what are we doing in terms of work with academia? What does that mean? How can we better build a bridge between the very nascent but very vibrant academic community in cybersecurity and then all of the work that we're seeing happening? So one of the things that we did was decide to introduce an entry-level certification called Certified in Cybersecurity. This certification has followed the same rigor that we use for all of our certification, and I am very pleased to announce that it is now ANSI accredited, which of course means it's mapped to ISO standards and will follow the same global recognition that all of our other credentials have. One of the most important things with this, though, this wasn't enough for us. For one of the things that we felt was really important was we knew that the entry-level certification space is crowded, but we also believed that we could be a differentiator. But one of the things that we did, and this is part of a lot of work that I do in the advocacy portfolio, was what commitment can we make to the community that can actually help bring in, and so that we can be that leader, and also talk about, you know, how do we, rather than just talk about the gap, what is it that we're doing? So last year, we were invited to the White House Summit on the cybersecurity workforce development, and there we announced our 1 million certified in cybersecurity campaign. And this is a campaign for us to provide 1 million seats around the globe, where we, 1 million seats for free to take the exam. So we offer a free online self-paced training and a free opportunity to take that exam and become a member of ISC2. And we've seen a number of incredible things happening with that. Not only are we beginning to see the credential come up on job postings, et cetera, but more importantly, we committed that not only were we going to give away these 1 million seats, but we were also going to commit 500,000 of those seats to underserved communities and underrepresented communities. And so we're beginning to see an incredible amount of uptake of this offering. Actually, last night I went to the SANS reception, and Lynn Dome, our good friend from WSIS, shared that we're in a second cohort of partners, and WSIS put out a call for people to join the Certified in Cybersecurity program. They thought, let's go for 500. And within minutes, I have over 1,000 applications. And this is just the beginning of this. And so we're really, really excited about that. So in our work, so I'm just going to kind of leave that up there because that's the extent of my slides. But in our work, another thing I want to comment before I leave the stage is one of the things that not only are we working and always thinking about a 360 view on workforce development, what are the innovative approaches? What is our responsibility in building public and private partnerships? What is it that we as an organization can do to just keep pushing that needle? But the other thing that we're doing in parallel with that is really starting to see a global trend around the professionalization of the sector. And in that, we believe that there is a really important call to action for everyone in this room. And that really is, not only are we seeing a proliferation of national level strategies, so for those who actually were in the UK Cybersecurity Council, UK session this morning, the UK Cybersecurity Council is working on a licensing scheme, but we're seeing this happening globally. So this is happening at ENISA. There's a new cybersecurity framework. Of course, we have the NICE framework. We also work closely with the cybersecurity agency in Singapore called CSA. In all of that, there is a move to the professionalization of the sector. But also in that is what we're starting to see is there is work that's happening in the regulatory environment that is actually going to increase the need for cyber professionals, not decrease. So not only do we have a very big gap, but the gap is going to get bigger. And so I will leave you today with just that call to action. What are we going to innovate to bring this to we need a completely different approach. And every person in this room is already working on that and has a responsibility to continue to do that. So with that, I want to thank the NICE team. The conference is excellent. Been great conversations, fabulous networking, and I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.